Okay, so this is the results of trading with limit entry only, exit at the market, or let it ride. I have proof of my entries, but I don't have the expirations. They're typically 8 hours, so I can show you the charts here of all the entries. It's pretty intense. I put a lot of orders in, and a lot of them, I'd say half of them didn't fill. When the euro dollar went up really hard, I sold in pretty hard to that on limits, and actually reached the point of the count is $2,000 count, and the whole count was maxed out. Like there was no margin left. I think the count was like at 1,000. So it's all in. I was all in against the euro there. Loaded up pretty heavy with 20 to 40 pip targets. A lot of bad ratios. So when you see this win rate here, percentage right, the reason why the account at a 58% win rate makes money because, well, it probably is worse than that because I have some orders in there that are designed to just take money out, which means it won. Okay. What's mind boggling is I probably only write about 40% of the time because when the ratios are really good, you hardly have to be that good. And you can make the argument either way that, oh, it's not real money, or it is real money. It wouldn't matter either way because nobody would, whether you won or lost. Maybe this isn't enough money for you to make $800 on a $2,000 account in 1 week. You know, I'm casually trading it. I would say that a couple times I should have cashed out. I think I would have banked more, but I let it go because it's swing trading. When I said I was going to buy the yen, I bought the yen. Here's the length that trades. This one, I didn't even know I was short. This is an order that I had sitting up there, and I forgot all about it. Because trading two currencies like that, left that one behind, and it just tagged this thing. It was up. There was an 8 hour ticket way north on the. I didn't have time. I was so focused on the. I was loaded on real money on the euro, and I wasn't paying. I really can't babysit the yen when I'm babysitting the. That's why I would only have one kid. If I had kids, I just have one. I don't even know if I'd have him. I'd have him with like a rip cord so we could just get rid of him. Throw him out the helicopter and dangle from the helicopter. But this kind of extended my time. This one thing I think kind of destroyed my average because I'm usually only X. Now I could have made better ratios. See, some of these you can see they got right out where they're designed to get out, and the ones that I decided to just cash out, I would say those are the ones here where it's like a stream. Where I didn't wait for profits there. I just said we're just getting out. So that would make a difference too. And this must have been a hairy ass stop here. This is a 18 pip stop, 20 pip stop on that. And 40. I think I had some 40s. Now if I start to run bigger, yeah. So these are all limit entries. And on the chart, it looks like this because these are all drag and drops, actually. A lot of trades, a lot of work, but like nobody cares, You just don't hear much. It's proof, that's what you would do if you're going to trade on limits like this. And I actually bought and sold because it's the same drop. If you drop it above, it's a sell. If you drop it below, it's a buy. It's pretty simple. I didn't trade a lot of pound. This is the pound, 4 hour British pound. So we start trading here, and I put in some buy limits because I'm expecting some kind of dippity-do, and we only get a little bit. If you look right here, oh, I got to get rid of this chart shift thing. So if you dial into the middle here, this is when I started trading. I'm not even getting filled. I think I filled one little ticket here, and I'm expecting the pound to get pounded here, and it's just, I'm just kind of put it out there. My first entry there, and then here I really loaded up because I'm like, you know what? It looks like we're going to tank into this vacuum. So here's a proof in the execution here is that I'm seeing this thing drop, but to be on the safe side, I really only want to get in, like I said, the supply zone or the oldest lows that show up. I'm coming in kind of really super conservative. I'm saying, well, I'm just going to buy from here down, and I only get filled on like one ticket. It's ridiculous. On this half-hour chart, you really got to trail your buy limits. If you really think that these are stops from retail guys, hey, I bought here because I saw a top become a bottom, and patterns really, ICT is, he doesn't know what he's talking about. So there's also, you can't trade patterns for patterns. Dude, it's all, if you can't see a top become a bottom here, then you're fucking retarded. If you can't see a trend line here, then you're fucking retarded. If you can't see this break of this trend line here, you're retarded, right? This is a wedge formation. Something's going to explode out of that. Okay. Yes, patterns matter, dumb shit. And so does, a trend line's unclosed, right? Not on the wicks necessarily, because if you do a wick one, then it's like you're all over the place. It's fucking a mess. But if you're talking about a top becoming a bottom, yes, it really does happen, because the people that sold here are like, get the fuck out, dude. Let's get out. Right? This is the hedge. The hedgers are rolling over there, right? When it pauses, when it's dojied out, people are saying, well, you know what? Wow, let's get the fuck out. Like, top becomes a bottom, top becomes a bottom. This is a little mini trend breakout. It's so fucking obvious, dude. Why in the fuck does this guy go on about this bullshit? So if I was to put sell limits up here, and I didn't because I wasn't fucking trading this thing out. Dude, I don't know what to say. This is what I was able to do. Now, granted, if I would have run this script, actually this is more than one, over here, buying this lonely wick, if you can't see that beautifully executed for, what is that? 40 pips, over 40 pips. If you can't see that putting a pack of buy limits in here wouldn't have just, with a 20 pip stop, to make 20 pips, you would have made your 20 pips. I did it. I'm not focused on this. I don't trade this, and I'm not trading this on the demo just to prove a point, which I've explained a million fucking times. In the playback of the market, I say, let's put some orders in here. Like, now, did you put enough? Like, this is the only chance to board the train here, is this one little pullback. There's no way you're getting picked up on limits here. This is why you do need to trade at the market based on pullback, and I'm sure this is a, this is oversold. On RSI, this is a pullback. What do you mean you can't trade RSI? This is the same thing. Its closing price is indexed. If you sold here and you don't cash out down here and down here, then you're fucked. There's buyers that are going to come in here, just like there's sellers that are going to come in here. So if you buy here, once you get to here, unless you're so fucking convinced this is going to keep blowing up there, it's probably not. You just clipped it. You just top tick Tommy that. This will be your lonely wick. So I don't have, that's the only thing I have in my, I have the vacuum, the void, the abyss, and the lonely wick. That's my whole mentorship right there. Because I'm getting in there. I want to in and out of this thing, dude. I don't want to marry this thing. And if I'm going to trade the wick, which is like if I'm going to buy limits here, which the spread has to be appropriate. In other words, I'm going to cluster them here because I don't know what the spread is here. This is the bid only, so the market had to come to here. Okay, I get filled. Am I trying to make 20 pips? Then I'm out. You know, it's a pip target thing. There's no hocus pocus. ICT thinks he found some magical thing. Oh, you know, these retail guys, they got trailing stops. And he's whining about his dog and his kids. Well, I couldn't put a limit order in because, you know, my kids and stuff. You just don't trade enough to be able to even fucking do it, dude. You couldn't do what I just did here. That's fucking, you can't Photoshop this shit. It's right there. You can see that if you look at the execution, you look at the ones that filled, you can see the performance on fucking 5 days of trading this thing to make $800 on a $2,000 account. Let's see you do it. You can't do it. He can't fucking even do 1 day of trading and go, look, this is what I did. No, it's all this TV on the radio trade and whatever the fuck that thing he's got going. I had a friend that loved TV on the radio. I tried to listen to it the other day. I thought, fuck, just listen to John Cage shit. Where there's silence. 16 minutes. So yeah, buying the wick. Wow, what a who never thought of it? Never thought of selling high, buying low. Never thought of it. I was selling high and buying low this week quite a bit on the euro. Because once it took off, I'm like, okay, and let's just keep throwing these limits in front of it. It was way better than getting into the market because I'd look at the account. I'm like, holy fuck, I'm up in this trade already. I could get out right now. So if I did a lot of rinse and repeats, then I could make more money. But then it's more work. A commercial with a guy's doing cocaine up his airplane up his nose so I could work more, so I can trade more, so I can get more pips. But isn't it obvious? Sure, if you sell here and you don't get out here and you sell more here and then you dump the whole thing, there's so many places, there's so many times that you could say, well, shit, we'll sell here and maybe it's going to really tank. Oh, it's just going to go like this. It's going to go Hannah Forex. It's not always going to go Hannah Forex on you. The girl that's infamous for doing analysis like this. And she's kind of right. I mean, look at this rip. Yeah, it's going to go like this and then breakout, pull back, ding. The mentorship. The Lonely Wick mentorship. Bring your lonely wick with you. Now, here's an instance where I'm committed to sell. But I guarantee you, well, maybe these filled. I'm not sure because if they lasted all day, they would have filled. It would have been a 24-hour script that would have dropped here, proof of drop. So proof of drop, like here I'm saying, you know what, the next day, you know what, I ain't got time for this. I'm going to sell into that puppy. And there's some are scalps and some are bad ratios, and it's just a commingling of everything in here. And as soon as this goes screaming up into here, I'm sure that if I'm the 20 pip winners, and if these lasted longer, see, this is when time matters. If these lasted just 8 hours, I got tagged and bagged here. But if they last for 24 hours, well, they already got hit, see. So it does no good. You'd have to rinse and repeat so often. Once this thing starts to come unwrapped, you know, if this was 8 hours, maybe it didn't fill. So you only caught the very top end of that too. And if these lasted 4 hours, then they didn't fill. So you didn't get involved in this part of it. So the whole point of letting the market come to you, it has to come to you on you're setting your own auction. Yeah, time matters. ICT, what a dumb shit. Well, time matters. Yeah, time, the order that's pending, dumb shit. Good till cancel. Does it last all day? So if you're going to sell into this top, you're like, okay, anything above this I'm selling. And I probably would because I'm just that guy. I mean, sell, fuck that. So here's my view of the market. Just so you know, when I see this stuff, like I see this, like they come above the high of the day here, I'm like, okay, man, I got sell limits up here. And actually, I'm probably selling a little bit here because I'm thinking, no, let's just start selling here. And I'm like, fuck them. And then it comes ripping back and actually overshoots the runway all the way back to, cause like a top bottom here, you know, and then ripping the other way. I mean, come on, man. That's what as the news comes out, right? Some news bullshit. Who knows? Yeah. You know, I don't have it marked off on this one, but it also wouldn't have mattered when that happened. Sure, time of day, when the news comes out, there'll be drama. Yes, the time of day does matter, okay? But what are you doing about it? If you start selling here, you know, because you can see these highs, you're like, well, I'm going to just put it like I did on this other one, like I did here. I go, you know what? Why don't we just do this? Well, that's a great fucking trade. What are you talking about? I put sell limits here because I think it's going to go into the vacuum. And sure enough, if I martingaled in where sell 1K, a 2K, a 3K, a 4K, a 5K, 6K, 7K. See how that works? As it goes up, I get that you can't handle going underwater. You can't handle a drawdown. I get that. But dude, grow up or man up. Okay. If you're going to sell 1, 2, okay, this is what I did. How do you think I got the account? I was in max draw when I sold into this. Dude, I was all in. Okay, they stopped me out of some stuff, but what I did was I had diversification of tickets. I had some that make a little bit of money, some that make a lot. I mean, 40 pips, 20 pips. Now, on the pound, you'd have to make your targets like shit. If you buy this so-called stop hunt, actually, I'd be getting in below this. This is the obvious deep void, okay? And if you're aggressive, you're going to start buying right here. Right here. Give me this fresh price right here. Now, can you afford it? I don't know. If you're doing the way I'm doing it, where you just put orders in, but you just do a lot of work placing these tickets, look at this. These never filled. This is ridiculous. But guess what? I didn't lose on that trade. People to go on and on about, oh, well, that's just so risky to just throw. I guess. I mean, I think I might have, I don't know if sometimes I'll throw these in when I'm talking about the market, but now a robot could have done that too. So the robot I'm thinking about is kind of a troll, just a really shallow 15-minute bot that's just going to pick up kind of this stuff here. Because, these high drama moves, if this is supposed to be the breakout, like it's breaking down, it's going to take this out. This is the low of the previous day. And I think that's what I was thinking here. Low of the previous day, let me throw a pack of orders in. But this is not what momentum traders are doing. People that are trading a 5-minute chart, as it's coming at them, they put a 20 EMA on this and they're like, okay, dude, this is pulling back. This might be a 618. They're like, let's get in here. All I'm saying is, okay, let me just buy all the way down and buy more the deeper it goes. This may be the bias of the day. But if I have limits up here, which I should have, I can see here, that if I was trading the pound and I knew that, okay, this is the end of the day. Sure, there's buyers going to come in here. But if I miss this train, I'm either going to start selling here aggressively over this top, and that would have been to break even, presupposing you can survive a drawdown on that one ticket. Okay, think about it. If you're going to, you're not just, you're scaling in against the market bigger and bigger. I don't know if that's not martingale, I don't know what the fuck is. It's like if you said, oh, I've heard about putting a turbocharger on my car with a supercharger, and people do that. I think you can do that, right? It's tough on the engine. Well, the engine blew up. Really? No. Really? Tell me again tonight your NASCAR car blew up? Oh, jeez. Of course. What do you think this is? I mean, yes, you could blow up this account. You could blow up that trade plan. But are you really going to stop trading because you fucking got smeared on some tickets? Yes, if you are trading so big and the account's to stop and you don't even know what it costs, it leveraged when the market goes against you at leverage, then yes, it's going to be like, wow, you'd be like, dude, I know I'm right about this trade, but what the fuck? I got no money left for the trade. So if you stake out an area to buy like this and it doesn't fill, then at the end of the week, I did this one week where I put the limits in so deep, man. I had double clicks that I wrote that started at 80 pips deep. They last for 8 hours, and I put them in randomly on 8 pairs and nothing filled. I was like, what the fuck? That was a very quiet week. Not a lot of volatility. So when the euro goes exploding up like that, just like this pound here, this explosion. I mean, how in the fuck are you getting on that trade? Well, I don't see a way to do it other than to sell into it. It's too late. It's too late to buy. When this thing's ripping up, I'm like, holy shit. I mean, really going to jump on this train? You just got to wonder. What? Now that's you got to be babysitting this thing, because when it's smoking in one direction like that, the slippage has got to be brutal, and it's over in a flash. The people that place orders every 12 hours or every day probably make more money than somebody that's chasing the market at high speed, because if it backs up on them, you could probably make way more money placing orders once a day and just like hit this one. If this was a daily ticket, like, so if this was daily, I know these would have filled. Now I could look at my phone and see, okay, it looks like I'm in a trade. I may already be out of that trade. If I have a target set on this one handle, and imagine you've got 300K, there's 300 tickets in here. I'm selling 10K, 20K, 30K, 40K, 50K, 60K. And I did this on the demo. I went all in. I was in 5 standard lots. Okay? I went 5 standard lots on this $2,000 account in micros. So it's kind of like, oof, it's a pot that's boiling over, but it's not exploding with shrapnel in your face, dude. Is it really that hard to conceive of this style of trading? So you could take it to 2K. I could have done the same thing with a $4,000 account, and it would have redlined just the same. I think I got stopped out before they took me out. I'm not sure if I ever got a margin call on that. I'm sure the account was flashing red as soon as my margin went to -0. I think MT4 flashes red. But it's about you're risking. I was risking $2,000. Now the account's $2,800. So I may write some 12-hour tickets, D1, because I didn't really want to babysit this one too much, and I could trade more pairs. I could say, you know what, let's just trade, with a 20 pip stop to make 40 pips exclusively. Just trade the same script and look for markets that, I don't know, the pound, I think maybe 30 to make 60 pips, stuff like that. Now, if you stay away from I'm just trying to make 10 pips with a 5 pip stop, then it's a swing account. So I could trade this lightly as a swing trader, maybe make 500 a week. You're still going to have to, I guess, if you have the opportunity to rinse and repeat these entries, because yes, the market went up there and came back, but it went up there and came back 3 times during the day, and it kept pushing a little bit higher, and then it came back down. It went a little bit higher and came back down. So can you range trade the march north as it keeps on making new highs and coming back, making new highs and coming back? So you're range trading it in a trend, right, at an angle, not pure up and down range trading like a perfect box, a perfect rectangle. And you're just counter trend trading it, range trading it, you know? So I did a whole video why you can just counter trend trade stuff. When people are all excited, you're selling. When the people are all depressed, you're buying. I mean, isn't that the way you do it? But when you see it going up, I mean, it's hard to, human nature is like, oh my God, let's get in this thing. So that's why I always say I'm never going to, well, unless it starts to have a nice flow to it, and I've got the button in front of me and I can start buying. And I did that on the yen where I was like, oh, this thing's starting to move. I'm already in. Let's add to it. And then we got the final move out of that. So I don't know if that helps, but that's what happened to me. I don't see the point in, we could trade at the market and come to it every half hour and go, yeah, it's oversold in the RSI, pull the trigger, but that just doesn't seem to be enough. It doesn't seem to be enough, because if that was true, you'd have a robot do that fucking trade and he'd make a mint. He would pick the bias, he'd only buy oversold on RSI, and he'd only, it's like, but he'd still have to run like a 10 pip stop, a 15, a 30, a 5, an 8, all that shit, because a one-trick pony is just going to get clobbered. I think I'm going to fast forward here. I think I turned off the marching thing. The market's closed, so it's not marching on me. Let's go here. Look at, so I didn't really trade a lot of pound here, as you can see, but I can see all the trades that I should have done. Now, if this one would have lasted a whole day, it would have expired because it's a 24-hour ticket, actually. So I've dropped it here. By here, it's gone. See, it looks like it would have filled this. And if I made these last all week, yes, that would have filled, and we would have just had this trade, right? You'd only have to do this once. When you got this lonely wick, and okay, so it's up here, and everybody's all excited. You're like, oh yeah, that's really exciting, man. It's going to the moon. Okay, do you think it's ever going to come back here? Yes, I do. Or maybe I'm wrong, but give it time. And of course, this is giving it all day. And I still could have had buy limits here all week. Right? Isn't this the ripe area? This is Asia. And look at, boom. So heavy martingale here. Here you buy lightly. And this one, if you can handle a 40 pip stop, you can make 10. This is why a bad ratio is built in. So I'm going to buy, there's a layer in here that's going to have bad ratios. There's a layer in here with good ratios. There's a layer in here. I mean, dude, I got fucking 3 standard lots in here. On this plunge, when and then when it's coming down, every close below here, if I happen to be here, every half hour, when I see it go like this, I'm like, oh God, buy. Like, you got to have your tickets in. ICT is such a dumb shit. He's like, well, my wife and my kids. Dude, you should have just known this was a fucking buy zone on the pound. Doesn't he trade the pound? What a dumb fuck. Look at this top become a bottom. He is such a dumb fuck. Well, a lot of people use my stuff and they find it makes money. Yeah, my lonely wick theory is fucking killing yours. Now, this may not have been, you may not have planned to make fucking 60 pips on that. Practically 80 pips from stem to stern. But we've seen the kickback and the rip. That doesn't matter. You could have been a goober with buy stops here and with a stop here. Now, they would have come back and grabbed that one ticket. This is why you have to have a 40 pip stop to make 20 pips, because you just got to. You can't always have these fantasy ratios. Yeah, I'm just going to get in here, put a buy stop here, and I put a sell stop here to protect myself. And bing, bing. Oh, just didn't get to ride it. This is the ICT is telling people, well, actually, no, you rode this one. If you put a buy stop here and a sell stop here, it's if you put a stop here, like if you traded the breakout here, oh yeah, I'm just going to trade the breakout there. Which breakout did you trade again? Well, I traded the breakout down. Oh shit. I traded that breakout down. here's like I said, this is such a nice marching. Boy, this is almost worth it. If you bought here and you're like, okay, I'm adding, and I've done this before where I'm like, just keep pulling the trigger, man. I'm looking at a tick chart actually when I get in there, so I need to kind of pull back on that tick chart. I'm like, yes, yes. And then when it gets to here, I'm like, oh God, we got to dump. We got to dump that whole thing. Why? Well, that's part 5 of my mentorship. Is why? Why? So when it gets above there, because what is above there? The secret of trading. I think that's why I put those sell limits up there. Come to think of it. Now, if those would have lasted all week, that'd have been great. And look at this gravy train of spikeage. So I had these marked off, and then we have. Oh yeah, that was the plan there. And I thought, well, it's going to take a big deep dive down here, but once again, my tickets expired before the fact, and here was the starting off the party here. Now, I wasn't dumb enough to put sell limits in here, this vacuum, I figured this was going to rip, but you could have done it. And the top, when you martingale in other words, this would be a 1K, a 2K, a 3K, a 4K. When you get to the 8K or whatever it is, and you have more than one ticket, don't forget there's about, I'd say, put 100 tickets in. You need to try to standard lot in here, so you're gonna sell 1K, 2K, and some of these are gonna get stopped out. But when you get to the top tick Tommy, and you never hit this thing, you never hit that. Look at this dive bomb off of that, and then Patum. Because this is the looming vacuum. I've marked off the looming vacuum, the looming abyss. And when you take out the high of this day, man, look at the frantic. This is a no-brainer, dude. You don't even have the, but you don't get the rinse and repeat, right? You don't get to trade that again. If that's your order bank that you lay in, you better make it big, because you only get one shot at that, and then you'd have to come back and do the same trade. And then here's that ICT calls it the gap. Oh, there's a gap thing right here. See, there's institutional order gap flow. What the fuck is he talking about? Right here, see, come back, fill, top, come bottom, and then kaboosh. Yeah, the wheels came off this puppy. But this is all free open space, man. Just like this is all free open space. Just like in all those videos I'm doing in the strategy tester, it's the same fucking bullshit. I mean, who's not got buy limits pending here, down here? Like, this is be like, yeah, let's just buy down here next week, dude. All next week. This is fucking buy territory. Sell territories above here. It's so fucking stupid obvious. Stop it. Look at this beautiful lonely wick up here. But were your targets set to make 200 pips? Mine weren't. I didn't have to. I could just do like, if you're a trend trader, you're just selling every rally on the way down here. I don't even. You figure, well, it's going to be a bloodbath once we break this, and then you'd be like, okay, man, let's just sell everything we can, every rally, and even the counter trend trader. Here's the only time it really paid off, is you bought this whole plunge. You're like, holy shit, man. You could have rinsed and repeated that, and look how, if you were around for this, if you weren't, then you had to wait all the way to here to get paid, right? So you had to wait all the way to here to get paid. How many times can you milk this range trading concept? Like, this would be, wow, these are missed trades if you're a pure range trader. And this is crazy town. And it's so funny how people think, oh, it's going to keep tanking here. No, nope, going back. And the punishment's just going to be more. Next week, I'm buying below there. If I was trading this currency, it's obvious. I want to buy. And I guess this is what the abyss is, liquidity, whatever you call it. It don't matter what you call it, but I just look at it. Once we fill that, the typical price behavior is that once you go below that, smash down, come back. Now that's the 20 pip trade with 40 pip trade with a 40 pip stop. if you want to be able to ride that whole thing, right? It's not like your target's up here. It could be, but like here, if you buy this plunge and you've got the tickets placed, but this is a missed opportunity here. But I was in, as the euro was crashing north, I was in the euro doing the same thing. So let's take a look at the euro trade and the yen trade. This one's I traded the most. And we were at $600 on this account. And then I went all in against the smash up here. Let's see if I can't scroll through this from. So this is at the same time I'm trading the yen. Okay, so here's Monday. I put these sell limits, these buy limits in. Not much of a fill there. Nothing here really. Not until we get. Okay, so I see this thing making a run. I'm like, okay, this is about 3 o'clock in the morning or something. I'm like, let me sell into that thing. So there's my stops, all stacked up. Sell, sell, sell. I'm typically running about 10 different style scripts here. You see how the targets are stacked up. Some are focused at a particular target. There's so many tickets in there. I just throw them up there. So here, these are 8-hour tickets. They might have got filled. These definitely got filled because these could have been 1 hour. Nothing shorter than an hour. I didn't go shorter than an hour because I want to keep doing it. So there's 4 hours and 8 hours in here. It gets filled. And when it got to here, I'm not sure if I cashed out there. Oh, I think I did. Right? This is when I was doing the video. Yes, I cashed out there. And I go, and there was a big bounce. And then they went down again. Of course, I can't tell it's the same. No, that's it. That's what I was doing the video. And look at all this other bounce house stuff. And then I put the cells up here. Not much of a fill. And here it comes. This is the news event. We get the classic wick down. And I think I might have got filled on that because I had the buy limits here. And they're stacking up. I'm able to capture this. And this is a nice cluster, but it's a little bit too deep. This should have been sitting maybe here. And trying to get everything precisely in here. I put a lot of tickets in because I can canvas like a 10 pip range, which is a little safer, but maybe we don't fill the whole bank. Whereas I put a focus thing, 3 tickets, I got to drop that about 3 more times. I got to drag and drop this precise thing here. And those would be 8 pip stops, 10 pip stops, 15 pip stops. I'm not going to put a 40 pip stop on something here because the precision, like if you put a buy limit here and the scalps are built in to just jump out of that. It just updated on me. Let me turn off this marching. I always have it on marching view, so. But yeah, look at that ripping. So now, I look over here. I'm in the yen trade. I'm kind of finishing up the yen trade I'm in. And I'm looking over here, and what the fuck's going on here? So I throw in these sell limits, and they crush me out of some of these, you see. If this filled, yeah, so if that filled, it took me out. These I put in real hefty, and then I thought, wow, we're probably going to go higher. And we did, because there's a little follow through the next day, and I'm in really dense here. And I didn't take nothing off the table here. So here's where I from here on out, it's just nothing but fuck you. I'm selling. I don't care. I don't care what these morons think about this. Yeah, this euro is ridiculous. Like, look at the daily. Let me just, okay. Look at the 1 hour chart. I just keep throwing these sell limits up here. And finally, here, I let everything cash out the way it was written. And here's where I cashed everything out because we just took out the low of Asia. And that I thought that was the time to get out everything I got of my real money then, too. So from here on out, I traded this just like my real money just went really in deep. I mean, it's kind of like, but I get pissed off. Here's definitely below here. I'm cashing out, but then here is the ultimate cash out when you take out Asia's low. But this is pretty much not exactly how I traded it, but close. With the exception that on my real money account, if I'm in pretty big, I'm just going to cash out like this. This comes up here, it comes back. I definitely cashed out there. That was a 20 pip win. I'm sorry, 25 pip win on this chart. I got different grids on different instruments. I shouldn't, but like I said, this is 25 pips. This is a 50-yard line. This is the 100. So you're below the 100 here. You go ripping from this 25 pips below the 100. You used to go ripping up 100 pips. It's pretty amazing. So I was willing. I had enough money in the account, and I just said, you know what, I'm just going to, I already decided I'm just going to sell into this. Fuck these people. They're retarded. And when it went just a little bit higher, this is like about 3 in the morning or something, 5 in the morning. I'm like, really? We're going to go higher? Okay. I'm selling it. And of course, you can see there was probably divergence there in RSI. There's a trend line. You know, here's the big abyss that's forming for me for the cash out. And I really thought we'd get a little bit more pullback here, and you always do, but there's always some follow through left in these things, amazingly. There's no end to the momentum, especially when you're trying to trade reversals. You want it to die, you know. It just keeps drifting higher. So I really hate that because I like the news drama, the spike, but if you would have bought this and you could have done this, and I did not do this because I was in sell mode, and once this thing took this out, I'm like, I'm out of that thing, right? I could have had buy limits sitting in here in a 25 to 50 pip window. I just pick a 50 pip window. Martingale near the bottom. Cash out, comes ripping back, and that trade be over right there. Now, this may keep on going, taking this thing out, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm a seller above here coming in. I'm a buyer below there coming in. I'm just going to let's do the same, rinse and repeat, and aggressively, 1 hour tickets, 3 hour tickets, 2 hour tickets, 4 hour tickets in here. Same thing here. Short-term tickets, close to the market. Long-term tickets, far away from current price. That's that. So now the other one was the yen trade. Like I said, I can only trade the dollar to the yen and the euro to the dollar because that's about all my brain can take, honestly. And everything else looks like fucking crap. I don't know how people trade these other things, but because I'd rather donate the time and focus to one instrument and just beat the shit out of it and squeeze everything out of it. Because I've done it, I've tried so hard to do this, but look at, Australian dollar, you know, and Canadian dollar, and I'm like, oh my God, my head's going to explode. Because also I have to trade on a whole different account because I can't keep track of how that thing's really doing. If it's commingled with everything I'm doing, I can't tell the performance of, like, do I know what I'm doing on this fucking currency? Like, I want to have the most efficient approach to each instrument. But that's me. Some people are trading fucking no-nonsense, is trading 20. He's got one algorithm, he's plugging it. The idea that you build an algorithm that's so magical, you just plug currencies into it. Okay, it's not me. But, like, that's just too much work. This is so easy. Just buy low, sell high bullshit. Here's a half hour dollar to the yen, and this is, this just makes sense. It's easy trade. This is a very choppy market. It's perfect range traders market. And I guess there's a trend in here. It went down, then it went up. It's like a V-shaped trend. It's a V-shaped recovery, man. Here's down, and then COVID, and then there's no COVID. Yeah, you buy down here. Let me explain how this works. You sell here, you buy down here. What more do you need to know? Well, what about my equity swings on the way down? Don't worry about that. So the bigger you get in, the more it's going to matter. Here's some more trades that I didn't. So this is the ones that I I think I had some ticket up here. I don't know if I put up. Look at this ticket I put up here. Now that would have been perfect. To put 5 standard lots right up on this would have been obviously the ultimate 25 pip win. But I did do these trades, and these are great. I remember saying, okay, I want to buy this. Since they're all limit orders, I really didn't have a chance to sell here, and I don't have a script that's designed to risk 5 to risk 10 to make 50. I guess I should. But you'd have to throw so many tickets. These are 1Ks, by the way, I'm throwing in. So you throw a bunch of 1Ks, you get tendonitis just throwing them in here. And like I'm not doing that trade. Here's another opportunity to do that trade where you put sell limits in here, real tight pack, and then market comes up, and you filled it. You're just in like 100 drops, 100 tickets. But I'm putting them in clusters of 3, so it'd be 30 drag and drops. That's kind of like those people that click to make money on the web. Here we want to buy below here in the abyss. Here's another abyss point. See this point? This is where you really want to load up. So I did. I'm like, you know what? Look at this. This comports to my theory of the abyss. And you drop another 25. People are blowing their brains out. But I'm bing, bang, bong, bing, bang, bong, bing, bang. I'm just having a riot. Now, some of this is auto-cashing out. And some of that I'm going, you know what? I'm out. So let me show you where I got out. After all this bing, bang, bong, and it's kind of building its own long position in a way. And I marked off this area, and I said, if it comes back to here, I'm getting out. And then I didn't get out. I said, you know what? They're going to crack it to here. So I said, I'll wait. They started cracking to there. And I'm like, okay, I'm out. So I got out. And I guess the part left on the table is it goes up here. But that's okay because I put sell limits in. I'm selling now. I captured a little bit off of that. And then sell, sell, sell. Here was the big sell that I forgot I had on. So last night I'm like, let's put some sell limits up here. And because now this thing's getting all out of hand, ridiculous, and it's in this void. So I figure, well, I went top tick Tommy there. I forgot I had one ticket there off the top that filled because of the expiration of that. It just happened to be, I think, maybe 4 hours. And then I look over and, oh my God, it's like cashed out. And it's just one lonely winner. But we could have just put buy limits in here just the same, but I was very focused on the other one, the other guys. So it's hard to, we could have bought or sold. It wouldn't have mattered. If you're looking to make 30 pips with a 10 pip stop, then, that's your trade. And you're just looking for places to put that ticket in, put that order in, and have it get filled. Or we could have traded at the market with the same ratio, risk 10 to make 30. And these could have been market orders. Problem is, at the moment you're looking at the chart, it's probably not that price. So how do you get the best price? Well, you could say, write a Fibonacci script, right? That's going to buy 3 places deeper than you're at. But it's all going to be, in the end, and then you get very, very precise entries like, I got to buy a limit down here, man. It's so big, never got filled. So, yeah, you want to keep your 2 big buy limits down here, get filled. Sell, buy, perfect, right? This is what these ICT kids are like. Well, look at that, man. Yeah, it's an auction. In other words, it made a new high, made a new low. It's over, right? Bing, bang. It stopped everybody out. So supposedly that's got to stop, right? But when you trade volume, I would never look at the volume either. This thing about the volume, I still don't get it to this day. Well, look at the volume increase. I'm like, I don't care. I'm just trading price levels. I wouldn't care. It's like if all of a sudden you can get a car for half off, who's not like, really? Is there something wrong with it? No, it's a brand new car, half off. Oh, fuck you, really? Brand new dollar yen, half off. Yeah, never, no dents. But no, once you start putting moving averages on this thing, your brain's drawn to like these beautiful entries like, oh, right here, man. More were sold at a higher price. Yeah, it's deeper, slightly higher price. See, the whole thing with the oversold is if you take your moving average, when it really hits it hard, that is more oversold at a lower price than this other peak. Looking back, and when you do the RSI, you're just looking back one peak, one top. But what would you do now? I just put buy limits here. Now, I would put my sell limits up here. I wouldn't put them in here because this, to me, is the vacuum that's probably going to fill. I don't want that one. I'll just put my sell limits up here, and I'll just hope for the best. And I'll put some buy limits down there, and I'll just hope for the best, God damn it. And then they say stuff like, well, you're just trading hope. You should, that's all I am trading is hope. Hope it comes down here. Hope's not a strategy. Well, neither is anger, but it's working for me. I'm pissed off all day long. I put sell limits up here like fuckers, and then the higher it goes. Anyways, this is a nice move. That's over 50 pips. That's like 65 pips or something. And that's waiting for the completion of the candle. Pull the trigger here. You don't even trade to see the wick. The guys that get the wick prices. That's what I love. I love the idea that the market is pounding down here, and I've got money in the account, and I can afford that trade. I'm like, yes, oh yeah, because I've been doing that for a long time. The feeling of seeing that first ticket fill and going, yeah, I know it's $1,000 position. I've actually taken profits on that first ticket. I go, yeah, that's just going to keep taking. I've actually taken 30 cents out of the market and go, yeah, that's going to keep taking. So the magic of the micro is to just, and I've done nano accounts too, but it's really hard to get to these brokers now. But in a nano account, I'd write scripts that would buy $100 positions. And this broker let me put in about 10,000 tickets. They still will let you do it, but not me. They just... SIG forex, SIG, light forex, and I mean you can have a cent account with a fixed pip spread that's like a robot could trade it. You just can't make $1 million. I mean, it's the execution. Of course, another thing about limit orders, it's the fastest execution and faster than a market order, faster than any highest frequency. I'm faster than any high frequency trader. I got buy limits sitting here. Dude, when it comes down there, they're filling. The order's already there. The trick is to cash out here because it may not keep going up. It just may not. It's you'll never, people, all these kind of sayings people have, well, you'll never, what do they say? It works both ways. You never go broke taking a profit or something. Or you will go broke taking profits because you're taking little profits. All right, but if you're going to do, what did I do, like 700 trades or something? I don't know. I don't know how many trades I did to get that. I probably made $1 a ticket because what that 700. I mean, $800, and I probably made $1 to $2 a ticket. But consider the fact that it's a $2,000 account, and now you get, you're up $800. So it's like a lottery ticket. It's like, was it Keno or something? It's not a lot of money, but if it was a $2 million account, I don't think a lot of people would go all in and risk, take the account down to $500,000 just to make $800,000. Would you take a $1 million account and write it down so that it was just maxed out? And would your broker even let you do that trade? I don't know. Of course, you'd be on a 10 case or something like that, right? You'd be on standard lots, they would let you do it. Maybe not, I don't know. But how rich are you that you're not nervous about your $1 million account being maxed out where you're in a drawdown of $500,000 just so at the end of the week you can say, I'm up, I made $800,000 this week. I'm crazy, out of control. You see my account, man. I'm sorry, $2 million account. Take it down to $1 million and then end up with $800,000 at the end of the week. More likely this is why the people say risk 2% of your account. Dude, I risked the whole fucking account, okay? It's funny, my risk of Rune went down to 0.51 when in the beginning it was at 100% every day. Till the last day, I don't know why. I don't know where that risk of Rune comes from. How about risk of trading? You just got to be a risk taker. Come on. What the fuck? I know people coming in there, well, would that Gartley pattern cut down on my risk? Yeah, a little bit. I think because you never get a fucking setup. So this is what I went to the no nonsense Discord. That didn't work out well. He kicked me out. I asked the guy, "No fucking ass, son. Just put a trade on already. I couldn't take it any longer." The guy said, "Well, here at No Nonsense, we don't just take any trade because it might be a loser or something like that." Like, at least we're not losing. I think the guy said, at least we're not. Dude, you're losing just by standing still. The market's moving. You're losing if you're not in something. I mean, fear of missing out's there for a reason, dude. It's like fear of not getting laid is there for a reason. What the hell? What are people thinking? Well, fear of missing out. You don't have that? Like, come on. I cured it by just putting a little baby ticket in there, right? I go, okay, I'm not afraid now. And subconsciously, my mind doesn't know the difference between a 1K and a million K. It just knows it's money. Like, I still feel like every penny counts. I went to the store today, big box, and I asked for some cash back out of the machine. I asked for $40. So two 20s come out, and I'm not even kidding. A $1 bill comes out that's cut in half at a diagonal, like a 618, not down the middle like 618 from the other side. And I'm like, part of me was, I'm looking for the Walmart lady to say, hey, you want this back? Like, I found this. It comes out of the pinch rollers of the ATM checkout scanner reader. That's hysterical. I'm like, what the fuck? So I kept it. I got to tape it together. It's worth $1. I mean, it's kind of a novelty. Like an upside down airplane on a stamp or something. But anyways, that's all I got. That's all I got. Look at this look at how this trade worked out, or this week of trading for the dollar yen. It ends up like where those started, as if none of this ever happened. Well, I don't know about you, but I have a 100 pip stop on my trade, and I bought here. And I'm like, okay, when's this thing gonna go up? Like, oh, shit, man. Now it's funny because we used to trade. Me and the tequila guy, we put trades on without stops, right? The account was a stop. He put on these hairy ass trades. And I think his trigger was set to a 10K. He set it to a 10K. He's buy. And you know what? It may be flashing red, but by the time it comes back here, he had made so much money. And he thought that's how life could be. I said, but it doesn't always work like that, because sometimes it either never comes back or you bought too early, too heavy. That's why, see how Martingale why martingale works is because if you bought a standard lot and then you go, you know what, it's going against me, I'm just going to buy a 50K and I'm just going to buy a 25K. Yeah, I guess so, but don't you want to just buy the 25K here in the 50K and then the standard lot and go, dude, I'm all in. I know I'm underwater on these guys, but we're all in now, and it's really oversold. My indicators do work, by the way. Indicators don't. No nonsense. I mean, I'm sorry. ICT thought he cracked the code. And a market maker. And then when he said he coined the phrase order block in 1991, I coined the phrase, not Bitcoin the phrase. That was for later on. I'm surprised that ICT doesn't have a Bitcoin like, Biden's got one. FJB Bitcoin. FJB coin, but I don't have anything for ICT. Does he have a Bitcoin? It's hysterical, man. The guy poses as a teacher. Just because you say mentorship doesn't mean you are. You use all these buzzwords. Institutional order flow. It's the paradigm. It's the smart money versus the scatterbrain money. That's right. There's scatterbrain money out there. Just pull speculative money. Oh, I think it's going up. I think it's going down. Oh, don't worry. Those are the people we make money from. All those speculators. Could we be the smart money? Or liquidity providers. Liquidity provider. He's got this map he does. Oh my God. This stuff's too funny. It's conceptual. Anyway, so there's executions, the only way you make money, and there's the tickets, there's the proof. That's right, you too can do this. I think I've got, I don't know what's in I would keep posting the same link to this hightail, but it's these are drops. These are all just hand drops. Now I could do the and some of the drops, they're not even on here. Because I got another computer, so some of the drops aren't on here. And the computer I sleep with has got scripts on it too, not as many. So that's the one when I roll over and I see that, oh my God, this thing really is pounding down. I'm either going to put in the limits in front, really try not to trade at the market. In fact, I put in, if I think the market's going to eventually go up, I'm like, you know what? Let's put some limits in and get a little bit more going. We're probably going to pull back one last time. If you notice all the retesting, okay, let's just build a position here. I think the final destination is we're going to blow out the high of the day, and this is the only thing I would say. I kind of bias or my view of what could happen. I guess that's trend orientated in a way, but I'm saying it looks like we're going to crush down and then crush up. And if you do a limits on both sides, which I did not do, I could have bracketed it and said, I don't care. And you have to do this where they allow you to hedge, by the way, I suppose. I mean, or just two separate accounts. If you have to do that, which it's just so stupid. It just shows you how fucked up the government really is. Dodd-Frank comes out, you're like, gee, thanks, well, you can make it more difficult? Yeah, because I didn't realize that it's like Pfizer money is floor trader money. The institutions that make a big facade about, oh, this and that, it's like music, really. Do you really think that the Rolling Stones is that amazing? I mean, I know people down this, there's this girl I know, Tatiana. She wrote this song. It's just, blow your mind. This should blow your mind. I heard it go, oh my God, it's a hit song. This is a fucking hit song. Hit song nobody ever heard. Okay? So stop. People idolize these bands. Oh, this guy. Dude, I know this one chick is just fucking unreal. Now, certainly she could do that all day long. Maybe that she doesn't do it all day long. But she's good looking. She's fucking unique sounding. We're all unique. We're all snowflakes. I'm just looking at all my missed trades here. It's making me sick. So, He was, as you were. As you were. Jesus Christ. That guy. What? He's like when, what's his name would come out? James Brown sweating through his shoes. They bring him out with a cape. Some guy to escort him out there. James Brown. Yeah. The James Brown of order blocks. As you were.